let's go. We're in the ninth round. Chocolatito's right back on the attack. Yafai is moving now. No more phone booth fighting for Yafai. He is on the move. He is mobile. He is moving around the ring. All right. Gonzalez is hunting him down, going to the body. Yafai hasn't thrown anything yet. Oh! 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 He knocked him down. Yafai with a big right hand. No, he's done. He is done. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for this little dude, man. He's back. He's back. He's back. Good shit. Good win. Good performance. Yes. Yes. Good shit, man. Good shit. Good shit, man. I'm happy for the man. He went through a lot. I'm glad. I like to see a fighter bounce back, man, after they lose, man. He's in the corner. He's crying, man, in the corner, man.
All right, what's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification button if you want to be notified anytime I release new content. And also, follow me on all social media platforms. All right, so we had a great weekend. DAZN had a pretty good card, man. We had the Mikey Garcia fight against Jesse Vargas, and we had a good, solid undercard. I did a live commentary on Saturday night. A lot of you guys were here. We had a great time on here just chopping it up about boxing, the undercards. All right, just good time. So, shout out to all the new subscribers. All right, a lot of subscribers from all around the world. A lot of different countries was in the building Saturday night. A lot of people from different states, a lot of New Yorkers, everything. Everybody shout out to everyone that was here. Had a good time. So let's talk about the fights on the undercard first. Let's talk about Joseph Parker's return. All right, he fought a guy named Shondell Mitchell, or not Shondell Mitchell, Shondell Winters. Okay, 39-year-old, smaller guy, 208 pounds at heavyweight. Really a cruiserweight, fought as a cruiserweight for the majority of his career. Parker, very heavy. He was 245. Looked a little soft around the waist. Looked very heavy. All right, he looked a little bit out of shape. Okay, it looked like he just jumped on the card just to get back in the mix. We knew he was out for a while because of the spider bite. He was supposed to fight Derek Chisora last year, but he didn't get into the fight because of the spider bite. So this was his first fight back in a while. Okay, and hopefully we can get some consistency and get him back in the ring fighting because, you know, ever since he lost to Dillian White, he hasn't really been that active. And because of this spider bite thing, that delayed him even more. All right, but performance wasn't so great. Okay, he looked like he was a bit rusty. And he fought a guy that was had pretty good defense. You know, he was older. He was smaller. Parker would try to bully him, but Winters, I keep saying Mitchell. You know, I don't know why I keep saying Mitchell, but he had good defense, and he actually had a better inside game than Parker. So Parker would try to use his size and push up on him and push up Winters against the ropes. But Winters was handling himself pretty well on the inside. I thought he was landing the cleaner shots between the two when it was a phone booth fight. All right, but Parker being a bigger guy, you know, at some point just started landing the heavier shots, and Winters just couldn't take the power. All right, and he eventually got dropped. And then he eventually got knocked out. All right, but he actually did win a round in that short period of time in that fight. All right, so Parker is back. Hopefully he can get back into real boxing shape. All right, because he did look a little sloppy here, but it's good to see him back in the ring. All right, we need to get him back in shape though, for he can bring back that hand speed that he has. We just want to see better work from him. But you know, I mean, he was out of the ring for a while. All right, so let's move forward. Jay Harris against Julio Cesar Martinez. Fight of the night. Championship fight at flyweight. All right, I don't know if it was a WBC or WBA. I don't want to get the two confused because I know Roman Gonzalez and Cal Yafai for the WBC or WBA as well. One of them two or whatever. But this was fight of the night. This was absolutely a fight of the night and probably one of the best fights of the year so far. All right. Jay Harris, first time me seeing him, excellent showing against Martinez. Um, it was a back and forth, hard to score fight. I'm glad I would not want to be a judge for that fight. You guys were here when I was scoring it. Um, a lot of confusion, a lot of close rounds. We did get a knockdown in there later in the fight. Martinez dropped Harris with a body shot, a mean body shot. I mean, you saw the red mark on Jay Harris's side from that shot for the remaining of the fight. Um, we saw a little bit of everything in his fights. Body combinations from both. You know, I mean, we're talking clean combinations from both. Good defense, good action, good counter punching, just a lot of volume. The pacing of each fighter. Jay will be winning half the one round, and then Martinez will finish strong, or Martinez will start off strong, and Harris will come back. Every single round was like that. A lot of back and forth. Martinez was the one that was pushing forward most of the time, but Jay was using a lot of lateral movement, throwing a lot of combinations, but he would switch it up, you know. But the amount of body shots that we saw in this fight, very impressive. Very clean punching in the fight. Excellent showing. I would love to see a rematch. I thought one of the judges had it completely wrong. There was a judge in there that had scored it 118 and 109 for Martinez. Okay. Definitely a poor scorecard. I think Martinez did enough to win, but it was definitely a close fight. And I would love to see a rematch. Okay. I don't believe Jay won, but if they scored it a draw, I wouldn't have been mad. I think I think Martinez won the fight, but it was close. It was close, all right. And I would love to see a rematch. That was an excellent fight. The style matchups just matched perfectly, you know, and just a lot of back and forth. One of those hard fights to score. All right, so great fight in the night for sure. Then we had the super flyweight title between Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and Cal Yafai, which was a great fight. Uh, Another great fight. Roman Gonzalez performance of the night. All right, he looked like his best days, you know. And I said during the coverage of the fight, he had displayed great defense. He was applying pressure, all right, but it was smart pressure, and he was still using good defense, blocking a lot of shots with his gloves. Very impressive showing from Roman Gonzalez. Okay, we know he's been through a lot. He lost a sword rung reside a couple times, got knocked out the second time. You know, a lot of people counted him out, completely rid him off, completely rolled him off. But you know, he only lost to one guy. You know, he's only lost to one guy, and this was a good. He's had a couple comeback fights, but this was a good one against a champion, a young, fresher, bigger fighter than him. All right, it was a good performance. A guy that many people didn't think he would beat. Pardon the noise. People didn't think he would win this fight, but it was a great showing, man. Excellent showing, and he's back, man. He's back. This is a big win for him. I don't know how many titles he's won now. I'm not sure if it's three divisions. I think he maybe 3 or 4 divisions, but he's a well decorated fighter at this point. You know, what would I like to see? I don't want to see another fight with Sora Visai. I just think that it would be soon for that. You know, a lot of people been saying, you know, in the comments that they want to see a third fight. I don't want to see a third fight, at least not right now. You know, because he's just won a title back, and uh, you know, the way that he lost is just too soon. You know, but I would love to see him face Estrada again. I mean, they fought years ago, so I would love to see them two fight again. You know, because Estrada is up there too. I mean, these are 2 pound for pound quality fighters. So I would love to see these two fight now, but I also want to see Sor Rungvisai fight a third fight with Estrada. I would like to see that too because he won the first fight. So I would like to see a third fight between those two, but I would like to see a rematch between Estrada and Gonzalez. All right, but great performance. You guys that was here on the commentary, watching me do the commentary, saw my reaction to it. Very, very excited for this dude. Glad he was able to bounce back, and that's the most important things. If you're a champion and you can have a lot of title defenses and you can win, and that's all good. But once you lose, if you're able to bounce back, that's very powerful to me. He's 32 years old. A lot of guys in those weight divisions don't really last that long. But for him to bounce back, win a title against a guy that many people believe he was going to lose, a guy that was bigger and younger. He looked very, very impressive. Displayed very good boxing technique, very good defense as well. Smart pressure. It was just a lot of pressure, but he was smarter. And this is one thing that I said when he moved up in weight. It's like he moved up and he was applying the same amount of pressure, but when you're moving up and you're fighting bigger guys, the punch resistance is going to be different for them. All right, they're used to fighting guys that can punch harder. They're used to fighting bigger guys, and I felt like when Gonzalez moved up, he was applying the same pressure and was throwing a lot of punches, but it didn't have as much of an effect. Even if the fight against Quadras, he he had trouble in that fight. He had trouble in that fight. Even a fight with McWilliams before he moved up. All of those fights he had issues in with, moving up and fighting tougher fighters. But when you move up, you got to have some sort of defense, man, because you're fighting bigger guys. All right, but good performance, and I'm glad to see him back. All right, so let's talk about the main event: Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas. Good competitive fight. I thought it was going to be a draw. That's what I actually predicted. I They gave it to Mikey, and I understand Mikey dropped him, hurt him several times. But I felt like there was a lot of rounds that Jesse won just based off activity. I know he never really hurt Mikey like that, but I felt like there was a lot of rounds, especially in the beginning. It took a while for Mikey to get going. But outside of him landing a big right hand or two in several rounds towards the end, a lot of rounds I gave to Jesse Vargas just because of the fact that he was the one that was doing the better work consistently. He slowed down, which is something he always does. He slows down in every fight. I mean, if you look at the Brona fight, once he slows down, it's not really much left with him. Okay, and he slowed down, and Mikey started countering right hands, and they started to hurt Jesse. Mikey. One thing about him, he has good timing. He didn't try to out jab Jesse Vargas. He didn't try to outwork Jesse Vargas, but what he tried to do was make every punch count. Jesse was doing a good job in the beginning, slipping shots from Mikey and avoiding the big shots. But as soon as he got tired, he started fading. Mikey started to make every punch count, and this is why the judges, gave him the win. All right, I'm not saying I don't think he did win. What I'm saying is I thought the fight was a lot closer than what the scorecards looked like. I thought the judges was very, very generous towards Mikey. Okay, even if you think Mikey won the fight, I still, like I said before the fight, at 147, I still don't believe that Mikey belongs there. Much respect to Jesse. I do like him. I do think he's a good welterweight. But that fight, that performance, didn't really impress me and didn't make me believe that he's a true welterweight. But I understand Mikey. He's looking for the big fights. He's looking for the big names. He says he's looking to challenge himself, but I think he's just looking for the bag at this point. Mikey's always been on and off about the sport. I used to watch old interviews of him saying that he wanted to be a police officer. It just didn't look like he still had that drive for the sport like that. I think he's just looking for a big fight, make big money, and he wants to move on, in my opinion. All right, he's been bringing up Pacquiao. He did bring up Terrence Crawford too in the post-fight interview, uh, which I was surprised to hear. I don't know how serious he is about fighting Bud, but um, even that fight, and I know Bud needs a good fight. I know he needs a name. I know somebody. But if Bud and Mikey were to fight, I know Bud is having a hard time trying to find an opponent over at the PBC. But if he can't get an opponent, if he can't get Errol in there, if he can't get Pacquiao in there, if he can't get Porter in there, whoever he decides to face, if he is to fight a Mikey, I would understand. But he's not going to give him much credit if he does beat Mikey because Spence already beat him, and he's not really fighting a true welterweight still. All right. But for Mikey, I understand he's looking for the big name. He's looking for a big money grab. And I think he wants to cash out, to be honest. Right. I would like to see him fight at 135, 140. But he doesn't seem to be really interested in those guys. He seems to really want a big name on his way out. And Pacquiao is a fight that's always been talked about. We've always brought that fight up. Pacquiao is a smaller welterweight, but at the same time, Pacquiao is extremely athletic, and that is what separates him from everybody else in the division. He's extremely athletic, and this is why, even though he's a smaller guy, he's had so much success at welterweight. Mikey isn't. Mikey, good timing, solid power. I mean, he showed good power in this fight here, but Jesse Vargas is still not the very elite of the division. You know, he's just not, and he's always had bad stamina. He's always fades, and once he fades, he's just not as effective. But I thought the fight was a lot closer than what it was. I thought the judges were very, very generous for Mikey. All right. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the card, man. I just want to go over it just for the people that didn't see my live commentary, and that's it, man. That's how I feel. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe again, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.